two men who are known for their incredible resiliency, their incredible endurance.
If you're a pro wrestling fan, you've probably been asked these questions. Isn't that stuff fake? Why do you watch it? What even is wrestling? Often these questions are coming from a place of ridicule. But sometimes it can come from a person who just wants a better understanding of what pro wrestling is. So for the curious mind, my name is Kaiseam Salmon, and this is Pro Wrestling 101. Now, to understand what pro wrestling is, you first have to understand where it came from. And to do that, we'll have to go back in time a bit. Back to the 19th century. It's post-Civil War America. The carnival has come to town. With the usual lineup, the bearded lady, the strong man, some animals, and then of course, the wrestler. The wrestler would be promoted town to town as the toughest man in the world, and no other man on earth could take him down. This would lead to the toughest, most egotistical men in every town to pay money just for the chance to prove they can take on the wrestler. One local man would be chosen for battle in every town, and in every town, the local man would fall. Now here's the trick. While many local men would pay to fight, many locals will pay to see the wrestler finally lose. The chosen opponent is always a secret member of the circus. This is what's known as a work, a term in wrestling that refers to a planned out, predetermined event that's meant to be perceived as real. This unique form of entertainment eventually left the circus and began its way to the mainstream and around the world in countries such as Japan, Mexico, and all over Europe. But it was less of a worked sport and became more of a real one. And this lasted until the 1920s, when wrestling promoters began to realize the cash cow that became pro wrestling. They also began to realize the difference in profit when certain competitors would win over others. This was the true start of the pro wrestling we see today. Worked finishes, manufactured stars, but all presented to the audience as real and authentic. Wrestling brought the carnival to the mainstream. Wrestling went on to have decades of popularity with this new way of business. But you still might be wondering, what exactly makes wrestling so popular? It's gotta be more than just dudes in flashy outfits pretending to fight, right? Well, that brings me to the most memorable golden age of pro wrestling. The mid-1980s to the early 1990s.
I'm here for one reason, to challenge you for a world championship match in the WrestleMania.
With the help of cable television, this era of wrestling was able to introduce characters and storyline into the show like never before. Many iconic characters and wrestlers were birthed in this era, such as Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and the Ultimate Warrior. Characters such as these and the many that would follow brought many new faces and new eyes to professional wrestling all over the world. To this day, professional wrestling is looked at as one of the most unique yet polarizing forms of entertainment you can find. With the character, storylines, and pure athleticism you see before you in professional wrestling, this is what makes it such a popular, unique source of entertainment. I am Kaiseam Salmon, and this was Pro Wrestling 101.